The great outdoors are enjoyed by thousands of people all around New Zealand. We have awesome views and stunning environments from the valley floors to the mountaintops. By participating in the Pike Challenge Award this year, you're going to experience a slice of your beautiful country. But before you and I head outdoors, we need to think about keeping ourselves and others safe. We can do that by knowing and using the 5 rules of the Outdoor Safety Code. How well do you know them? Well, I do like to challenge myself, but I do know my limits. When you're heading outdoors, you need to challenge yourself within your limits and experience. Just remember, it's okay to turn around and return another day. You might need to ask yourself, is this going to be a difficult trip? Or is my group up to the challenge? On every trip, you need to make sure you have enough supplies. Of course, you're going to take more on a longer trip and less on a shorter trip. But on every trip, you should have enough food, water, equipment, clothing, and an appropriate means of communication. So here's some of the bits and pieces I've brought with me on a day trip. I've got my fleece, I've got a jacket, I've got my map and my compass, my drink bottle, I've got an appropriate means of communication, I've got a cell phone and an EPIRB, I've got an emergency shelter, a thermal blanket, I've got my headlamp, some food, some home baking if you're lucky. Before I go on any trip, whether it be a short walk or climbing a big mountain, I plan my trip. It's important to get local knowledge, plan your route with an adult, and allow plenty of time to finish your trip.
Ask yourself, are you prepared for the unexpected? Have you checked a map? What route will you take, and have you planned an alternative? Have you got the right clothing and equipment? And what is the weather doing?
Before you take off on a trip, you must let a responsible adult know your plans. You also need to let that adult know when to raise the alarm if you haven't returned. Ask yourself, what would happen if something went wrong on my trip and no one knew where I was?
The best thing to do is to write down where you're going, who you're going with, what equipment you have, and when you expect to be home.
Before you leave home, you need to check the weather forecast. New Zealand's weather is notoriously unpredictable, so before you head out there, check that forecast and expect some changes along the way. Now, I've reminded you of the 5 rules of the Outdoor Safety Code. If you don't follow these 5 simple rules, you could get yourself into a bit of trouble. But if you do follow the rules of the Outdoor Safety Code, chances are you'll have a safe and enjoyable time when in the outdoors. My challenge to you now is to use the Outdoor Safety Code every time you go on an adventure.
Here at the Pike Challenge Award, we are really excited to be able to work with the New Zealand Mountain Safety Council, and we thank them for their support. Make sure you check out your student booklet for more information on the Outdoor and Water Safety Code.